it's interesting, this whole college thing. Because back then in 2017, when I graduated from high school, I really didn't know that. I just believed that going to college was the only way for me. I didn't know have other opportunities. I didn't know about entrepreneurship, or other forms of creating your income, whether you have a social or not. Later, in my junior year of college, because I wish that I would have known that, since I would have made a decision um more of mine. I feel like I was doing college from parents. And the idea of the American dream, like you need to go to school and all of these things. But I also think that you can still be successful to what it means to be successful to you in a way. So I do want to put that out there, because I think that society is changing, our people is also changing, and not everybody who's in our community can go to college. Like, no. And sometimes being a business owner can be more doable than going to college, which is a mind blow to me.
What is going on, everyone? I'm your host, Kevin Munoz. You're listening to the Leo podcast, where we talk about various educational topics, especially those impacting the Latin American community. This is today's free episode. If you want early access to episodes and bonus episodes, you can find that right now on our patreon.com/LatinaamericaNeo. And if not, then enjoy this one. In today's Talk Your Business segment, where I bring entrepreneurs from the community just like you and I to share their stories and tips on how they kickstarted their businesses, I had the pleasure to speak with May Pérez, founder and owner of Lunartesanal, a business born out of intention and love. Lunartesanal is bringing you beautiful hand artisan and sustainable pieces made in El Salvador. May founded Lunartesanal because of 3 reasons. 1, being born in El Salvador, May experienced and saw the need for socio-economic development within the artisan community. 2, her nostalgia and love for the land made her crave Central American visibility and representation in the United States. And lastly, the need to survive and work in this country. Being an immigrant put a lot of systematic barriers for May to find employment, and the inability to travel back because of immigration policies fueled her to pursue her vision. So without further ado, let's get into today's episode.
Well, hello everybody. I'm May Perez, and I was born in El Salvador, and I'm 23. I live in Boston. I just graduated from college last year, but I've been planning or working on my business ever since 20. Well, actually, I manifested my business first, and then the action. Yeah. So I always like to say that, because I think that sometimes when we work on projects or anything, a job or anything that you start, you think that you started it the day that you apply for it or the day that you found it. But I think that we need to be considerate about the intention behind. I think that you thought you manifested it somehow if you really wanted it, or at least I like to see things like that way. So for me, I manifested my business in 2018, 19, towards the end of 2018, towards 2019.
So you've been thinking about it for a while then. It wasn't
Yeah,
wow, that looks cool, I'm going to do it myself, or like, I really
no,
want to do this. It was just, you actually have been thinking about doing this for a while, and then you finally took that kind of leap, right?
yeah, I did. And the thing is that I like to journal a lot. That's like my way of just coping with everything. I like to journal, I like to write. And I remember that I did wrote that I wanted to start it, but in that time I was a junior in college, so it was around 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting, because I feel like I was in Short of Truth podcast when I was
With
actually
Vicky,
thinking
yeah.
about it. Yeah.
The
So now,
sister podcast. Shout
yes,
out
I
Vicky.
know. So shout out. So it's really interesting to. It's just like, oh, I don't know. I get emotional now because I'm talking about it with you, but I also talk about it with her, and it wasn't even physical. It was just an idea. So now that it's physical, it's, well, a full circle moment. Well, it's a full
Yeah,
circle
look
moment.
at that. And listen, from here on out, you'll only have greater opportunities. You know what I mean? It's just, you're
Yeah.
manifesting it, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I started manifesting in 2019, and it was because it's really funny, and I think that maybe every or almost every entrepreneur has that little how do I say all of this in a short amount of time when they ask you how you started your business, because I feel that at least for me my business came because of my lifestyle, or and also because of who I am, and I also found a problem, and then I found a solution to that problem. Because I think that a big thing in order for your business to be successful and whatnot is you need to have a solution to a problem, and of course intentionality, and not doing it just for the money. Because I am a big, and I don't know if you noticed, but through my social media stuff, that I'm really about healing energy and not just doing things just because. And I think that when it comes to abundance and your mindset, you need to have a sense of gratitude, a sense of gratitude for things. But yes, for to begin with, the main thing that happened that caused a lot of things was my status. I'm here in the U.S. and I am fully undocumented without DACA, so I don't have any work permit or anything. And when I was in college, I fully knew. I ever never know ever since I came here that I didn't have nothing. But I didn't really understand the consequences until I was applying to college, and I think that's a common theme around our community that you really don't understand until you try to apply for your driver's license, your first job, and all of these
Yeah.
things.
But you always knew that you were like
Yeah,
undocumented and everything, right?
I always knew. My
Okay,
parents
yeah.
never hide that from me, and I'm really grateful for them for never
Right.
hiding that from me. But I never really
Yeah.
understood what it meant until I had to, I wanted to find a job in high school, or
Yeah.
actually in middle school. I wanted to work and whatnot, in eighth grade or whatever. And then it started hitting me more when I was trying to apply for college, because here in Boston, or in Massachusetts, the state, undocumented students without DACA, they don't really have any financial aid opportunities. We can fill out FAFSA.
Right.
Uh, some states allow you, but they don't allow us here. So that's when it hit me. Okay, what do I need to do? Thankfully, gratefully, I was able to get a scholarship based on my grades, and that's how I made it to college. And it's like, and tell me how you feel. You relate to it too, because
Yeah.
after one chapter of your life, you'd be like, okay, what's next? How do I figure it out? Okay, next 4 years, because
No, that's
my
how I
life.
was too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I was in a high I came here when I was 7 years old, so I always knew like I was undocumented. Um, but like you said, I didn't know what that really meant till I started applying for colleges in high school, applying for jobs and bank cards later on being denied. I'm like, why am I getting denied? Like, what's so different on them taking a risk on me than like some than another kid my age or something, and then just getting a bunch of no's, and then that's I think where we get creative, like you said, and then building that mental like strength, because we have to have that mental strength and then build it up, and not like succumb to the pressure that's constantly being like thrown at us. And no, I absolutely relate that too. I had to get creative, and even with DACA, you don't get like FAFSA. So going to college, I couldn't go out of state is like, as you know, is more expensive. You have to stay in state. And then all my peers were going to
Mm-hmm.
these other big colleges, and I'm just like, wow, like am I like, I started like just doubting myself. And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? No, I'm just gonna push myself through with it. And I relate to that. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, yeah, and thank you for sharing, because it's interesting, this whole college thing. Because back then in 2017, when I graduated from high school, I really didn't know that. I just believed that going to college was the only way for me. I didn't know have other opportunities. I didn't know about entrepreneurship, or other forms of creating your income, whether you have a social or not. Later, in my junior year of college, because I wish that I would have known that, since I would have made a decision um more of mine. I feel like I was doing college from parents. And the idea of the American dream, like you need to go to school and all of these things. But I also think that you can still be successful to what it means to be successful to you in every way. So I do want to put that out there, because I think that society is changing. Our people is also changing, and not everybody who's undocumented can go to college. Like, no. And sometimes being a business owner can be more doable than going to college, which is a mind blow to me. But thankfully, I ended up at Northeastern University here in Boston with a full ride, and I was able to finish that. And I was like, okay, I graduated from high school. I got this money. The school, okay, I'm all set for the next 4 years, but it's not really
Yeah.
like that. I think
Yeah.
that, at least for me, once I figure something out, what's next? Because it's always going to come up what's next to figure it out. It's like a puzzle every 4 years.
Yeah.
And my school is interesting. Have you heard of Northeastern before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So with Northeastern is that you do 5 years, and they make you do 5 years because while you're in school for undergrad, you're supposed to get real work experience. So you're supposed to get hired for internships, and then you get paid for internship and while
All
you're in
right.
school. Yeah, just so you can get ready for the workforce. Of course, that didn't really apply to me, and I didn't know that. And I didn't know that until I got in there, because you're supposed to start planning your co-op, internship, whatever, the paid
Oh,
one. Yeah, because you're supposed to do a paid internship for a semester, and it goes into your credits, and then
right.
supposedly once you're out, you find a job and whatever, right?
Right. Right.
So my freshman year, I was trying to find an internship because that's how early you start think about these things. So you start working on sophomore
Wow.
year.
From freshman year. That's
Yeah,
wild.
yeah,
Yeah. Usually people don't
yeah,
even start thinking about it till like junior year or
exactly. So
maybe
it's a
later in
really
sophomore year.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It was a really rapid, fast-paced thing that I didn't really understood because first of all, I was the first one in my family to go to college,
Right.
and then this school is super like, okay, next year you're supposed to have a job within your field, and it's like, whoa, wait, I don't even know what I want to study, so wait, hold up. um, and I think that's when it hit me, my second semester freshman year, when I was like, okay, let me start getting this co-op thing started. And I just realized that I was like, wait, their pay and it's like a full time, 40 hours a week. A lot of universities in the US, they have, their office for first generation students, and then when the first gen, they have their documented office. But my school was just so behind on these things that they didn't even have a first gen office.
Oh wow.
So now, yeah, actually, my classes started a first generation office, and the department,
It's sad
and
that you like it's something that we even have to like put
yeah,
like into their agenda because it's
yeah,
otherwise it was just
think about
it's
it.
been staying like that for years, right? And
Yeah,
only
they don't
only
think about
now
it.
have I seen more and more colleges also just adopting more like resources
Absolutely.
for undocumented kids and Latinos in generally, right?
Yeah, yeah, and of course, I was considering international student, but I was not, and it was a whole mess. And oh, it's complicated. But long
Yeah.
story short, I was trying to apply to create my internship, and they gave me the option that I could work for free 40 hours, and I was like, wait, what? I was like, wait, hold on, wait.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah,
no.
they were like, just look at the experience. So they had the motto at my university. Oh my god, I feel like I'm talking mad crap about them, but it's okay. I'm already gone, so
We
it's
all yeah, yeah, you added there. What do you got to worry about?
you know. But they have the whole exploration learning. That's their motto. So they will always refer to that. They will be like, okay, you will get experience, whatever. And I was like, wait, but I'm working for 40 hours for free. And in my head, I'm like, I got bills to pay. I can't afford that.
Yeah, we don't
So
have that luxury. Come on
no.
now.
And from that moment on, everything changed in my college experience, because I was a political science major. Because I've always been about, the community and learning how to, give back to our community or make it better. And I believe that because I had some background in community organizing during high school.
Okay.
So I believe that, okay, maybe political science might be the field, international relations might be the field. But I started learning more about it in school, and I was like, oh, I can't do this. Like, this is too slow. I'm a person that I need to make change quick, and I need to see results. I can't with the whole bureaucracy thing that you need to go to this, and like I can't.
I know.
Uh, we know this.
Yeah, like we go
We've
be
been
like
wanting for change results.
and you know what ends up happening too with all like these politicians is they well, from what I've read is just like they go in trying to make change, like they genuinely trying to change the system, and then just they too many obstacles, and then they just kind of fall into this uh into his rut where they're just going through the motions and just getting their money, right? Like, and then
Yeah.
there's just no change, and then just a
Yeah.
full circle.
Yeah, yeah. And that's when I started questioning, do I really want into this field? What do I do? And that's when a lot of things came up too. Because I think that for you to find your life or what you're supposed to be doing in your journey, a lot of chaos also needs to happen because you're changing, you're growing, and a lot of people don't feel good about the chaos and the chaotic part before the light. Um, so that's when a lot of my mental health issues started to happen. I started getting super anxious, and I think that I never had anxiety or I didn't start developing until I started college, which is super sad
Wow.
to think that. Yes, it's super sad to think that. Wow, going to this thing caused me this, and now I'm still recuperating for it because it's a condition that you
Yeah.
once you start developing, you need to treat it. It's like any other condition. And my depression also started starting because I think that I got too much in my head. Okay, I don't have any more things to do because I just thought that that was the only thing.
Right. You
Um,
came to like you found yourself coming to like a wall, right? And you couldn't see
yeah,
yourself getting past
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's super sad because I really wish that no one would go through that. But I also think that I had to go through that to be where I am. So it's super conflicting. I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, and it was a really dark time because I couldn't tell my parents since I didn't know how to deal with it myself. And then just think about me being a freshman thinking about what I had to do after university, which is too much to think about.
Did you
And
have like sorry to interrupt you. I'm just like, did
okay,
you have, because I feel like oftentimes we also just don't have other people that like relate to
yeah,
what we're going through, and it's a lot of vent up like emotions, and that's a big cause of it.
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, of course you have your friends and they knew, but I think that there's so much that they can help you with, and also it was super hard for me to ask for help because since I'm always being the one handling a lot of things on my
Yeah.
own, it's always to ask for like, okay, I'm feeling, and plus back then it wasn't really normal to talk about anxiety. At least I felt ashamed talking about it because I didn't really
Especially
know.
like with our parents, they're like, what, kiss this, so like
Yeah, and I just handled it on my own, but I don't recommend that. I'm like, please do
yeah.
not ask for help because it really adds to other things in your life. And well, that's when I changed my major too. I was like, I can if I can control my internship, let me focus on what I can control. Since that has been my motto ever since I came to the US. Control what you
Same. I'm like,
can.
focus on, I'm like,
Yeah,
use whatever cards I have in my
yeah,
hand. Not, don't worry
yeah.
about the ones I don't. Totally,
And
totally.
block out the noise. Just focus on what you can. At least you know that you have all this money for the school. Then focus on that thing that you can. Even if
Hmm.
you can work on your field, you know that you can always make money different ways, whether it's serving or whatever. Doing
Absolutely.
things. Of course, it's a hard thing to face because you are here to build your career or whatever. At least that was my idea back then.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I changed my major to or my field to marketing and design, graphic design, and I've always been a creative person, but I really didn't know how to explore that. And I think that a lot of things in my life experiences have prepared me to be a business owner because I think that you need, and even being a document has prepared me to being a business
Right.
owner. I think
Right.
that also that's also why a lot of our community have businesses because we just adapt so easily. I
Yeah, I was
think
gonna
that
say the same. Like everything that we go through is kind of, we dealing with a business is kind of like we go through it anyways, like in our daily lives
yeah,
in different ways.
and the level of stress too because I
Hmm.
think that and it's going to sound so messed up, but I think that since I'm so used to having stressful situations in my life before being a business owner, now that I have business related things, I'm like, okay, we'll figure it out. It's not a big deal, but it creates a lot of mental capacity that I'm just grateful for being able to learn those soft skills that a lot of people don't know or don't have because they haven't been through like different
Yeah.
specific life experiences like being unstable or adapting to change or making quick decisions or being creative and being resourceful. I think that that's a big thing about us too. We're so resourceful we can make so many things with little. And
Yeah.
even I don't know, it's just so beautiful that I think that all those things have led me to, have
And
that
that's
now.
like the whole embodiment of your business. Like your business is like out of coconuts.
Yeah.
Like like out of all out of all the things, like you made a business out of coconuts. Like
Yes,
that's
yes.
amazing.
Yes, and for the listeners, I think that I haven't really said what my business is.
Yeah,
So
right.
let me say that before I continue with how I
Yeah.
led.
And I'll
But
introduce it before the like everything too. So
awesome. Okay, yes, thank you. But yes, I'm the owner and founder of Lunartesanal, and we are a business based in Boston, but we work with artisans in Salvador to create handmade artisan products using coconut or just artisan products, but mainly with coconut. We mainly work with coconut. And yeah, we go from earrings to bags to candles, launching tomorrow. Actually, by the way, I'm just going to put that there just in case.
what? You're doing
Yes,
candles now?
yes, we're doing candles.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I started with just earrings, but then
Yeah.
I know that coconut you can do so many things with coconut because it's a really sustainable product, and you can just maneuver different things to do. And um starting the core line where I wanted to do coconut, and especially vegan coconut because soy is important to all of those little things that when you burn it, what it does to your body. So
Mm.
yes, making sure that whatever product that I create is sustainable, because of course that's one of my things too. I don't want to create more stuff or more things to the planet. And it's really interesting to also build a sustainable brand when you're still also an immigrant, and like you have to make, because sustainability is expensive. And I think that
Yeah.
that makes me so mad, and that's another topic in their own. But yes, Lunartesanal is a sustainable brand, and we work with coconut and we create different products, but as of now we only have earrings, bags, and candles. So that's Luna.
Only, she says only. Like
Yes, because I have
she only
degree.
you started this like not what, how many months, like has it even been a
August,
year?
August.
It,
No,
it's
no,
been
no, 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 not even. I
not
launched it
even,
in
right?
August. Yeah, no, I launched it in August.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. It's been a couple of months and you're saying only, and you have like like a whole catalog already. Like of
I know.
awesome products, by the way. It's not just like
No, no, thank you. But
but
yes, that's the story. What happened?
yeah, no, since since we got it right into the business, tell us like more about the name, how you came up with the name, the mission, and why coconuts out of all the fruits
Yeah,
or materials like wood or your or the typical like what do they use for earrings, copper
yeah.
or
Actually, these are the ones. One of them.
yes,
They're one of our styles. Actually, one of the original styles. The first drop. I remember that when I
right?
first launched it, that was one of the first styles. So I'm close. It means a lot. But so Luna, because I have a deep love for the moon, me personally, I just connect with her so much. And I've always been a really intuitive person. And even when I was little, I would feel, I don't want to be arrogant because it's not a word, but when you're a special child, like when you're different. And I always knew I was different, not because I was an immigrant, but also because I would rather, just be outside watching the moon or like watching the sun or like the sky than like playing in the playground. I don't know why. I just have this thing with the cosmos and everything. And even when I was going through my dark period of time, when I was dealing with mental health really bad back in college, I would just resort, of course, to God, because of my parents and my upbringing, but also I would resort to nature, especially the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I was manifesting what I wanted to create with my business, I wanted to be intentional because I wanted to be abundant. And for me, the moon's super abundant. And just seeing all the phase changes that the moon goes through and how it affects humanity, how it affects the ocean, how it affects women, and even, plants. And at least my
Right.
parents, they grew up planting. In Salvador, we trade a lot of coffee. So my parents, they work in the coffee fields when they were little, and my dad will always tell me that the moon will help them know when
Yeah.
to plant because of the cycle. So I just find that so beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Um,
We used to do this the same thing too. As I was little, I remember just going and helping my family pick like coffee beans from the plants. It
oh,
was I treasure that like memory so much just because it's not it's unique. It really like to when it comes to the environment here, right? You're listening to the Leo Podcast. I'm Kevin Munoz. Support for today's episode comes from my Patreons. If you enjoy the show and are looking for bonus content and to further support the show, then head on over to patreon.com/latinamericaneo or visit my website latinamericaneo.org to join the growing Leo Podcast community. Because the learning doesn't stop with this episode. There's also some sick merch on my website, everything from shirts, coffee mugs, and tote bags. All info will be at the bottom in the show notes. Now let's get back to today's episode.
Yeah. So I feel like in Central America, where this platano, coffee, or sugar cane is so big over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I was thinking about the name, I wanted to incorporate nature, but I didn't know how. And then I was like, let me just name it. I was just going to name it Luna, but then I was thinking, no, it has to say, I just wanted to say in the name what it was about. So I just added artisanal and Luna at the same, Lunartesanal. And also because during that time I was studying branding and design, so I had a little bit of background with branding and how to make it appealing and all of that. So that's how it came up. And initially, it wasn't even about the coconut yet. I just wanted to actually sell the bags, the textile bags.
Oh, the bags. The bags were before the earrings when you planned it, right?
Mm-hmm, when I planned it. But then I was able to find the artisans who work with coconut. And I didn't even know that you could do this I didn't even know anything about coconut until I started talking to them and more about the production methods and everything. And it's super beautiful because my family, my mom, she's from the coast of El Salvador. So I did grow up knowing that you can use coconut as like different things, but not like beauty stuff. Because, you know, you grew up with like coconut oil, coconut face wash, whatever. Yeah, but not really these things or other things. And I was like, I was mind blown. I was like, wow, you can do all of this with this fruit. Like, what?
How'd you get in contact with these people? Like,
yes.
And that's just hit someone up like you saw like people were working with coconuts and you're like, I'm gonna hit them up. Like,
no. Actually, you know, when you work with intention in your journey, I think that things just start aligning up. I'm a big person about alignment, and I think that if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, everything's going to come up easy. So my mom's a hairstylist. She does hair here in Boston, and one of her clients actually comes from El Salvador to visit her family, and every time she comes, she does her hair with my mom. So my mom was telling her that I was trying to find artisans to work with them. And you know, mothers, they will always be bragging about their kids, like, she's doing this, she wants this. And sometimes it will bother me because I'm like, I'm too humble sometimes and I don't want people to know until I'm sure. That my mom bragging about me, thinking about my business, led me to my artisans. So thank you, Mom.
Wow, there you go. So there you go. Tell your parents all about your ideas because you never know.
I know. And she was just casually telling her, and literally it was so funny that one of her students back in El Salvador, because her client is a professor back there, one of her students is an artisan, and that's how I got in touch with the artisans through the professional client. And then from there, you know, I contacted him, what's up, and then we start talking and then planning and then creating and just trying to know what it would mean for me to export, because I can travel back. And that was my main concern. How am I going to bring all of this without knowing how to go back? Like, that was the thing that I thought was going to stop me, but no, it wasn't an issue. And then I came across the cooperative, Calot, that they're the cooperative that works with the coconut. Yeah, they're located in La Paz, in El Salvador, and they have a more established co-op because they're different type of co-ops, but this one is it is more funding for different things. Right. And I just found out about them because I follow a lot of pages in Instagram for El Salvador and entrepreneurship and whatnot over there. And one of them posted them, and I just messaged them. I was just thinking, hey, I just introduced myself. Back then, I didn't have, but it's really funny because it took a lot for them to reply to me. And also, since I didn't have a business yet, because there was just an idea. So it was either I was scamming them or not, you know, because it's just a random girl from Boston texting us, she wants to work with us, but there's no business, there's no profile. Where's it at? Because I hadn't registered yet. And I remember messaging them in October. That's when I sent a DM, and they replied to me until February. But it's
So
okay.
yeah,
Yes.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, it took them a little while, but good for you
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
even like messaging them when it's only
Yeah.
like an idea and then you're trying to make this work. That
Yeah.
takes a
You
lot
gotta
of
shoot your shot.
courage. That
You
takes a
gotta shoot
lot of
your shot.
courage. You really
Yeah.
do. No, you really do. Uh,
Yeah. It was funny because I actually didn't think they were going to reply to me. I emailed them, I texted them in Facebook, IG, and then out of nowhere in February last year, they just replied to me back, and I was like, oh my God, yes.
what
I
was
was
your
like,
reaction? What did they say? What did they say?
oh God. They were just like, oh, because also back home is different and really, really interested with social media since sometimes they don't check and all of these things. Um, but thankfully, ever since then, we were able to create a relationship. And I really care about them because at the end of the day, the families that I work with, they also have families. It's not just like, oh yeah, I just pay you and I don't think about you. Like no, I
Yeah,
think that you make a brand sustainable and that does social purpose. You also are involved with them, their family, because at the end of the day, you're supporting them, and
right.
they're supporting you. It's not just take. It's reciprocity. And they just told me how to make the stuff, the prices, what I wanted to design with the coconut, and that's how everything started. Just a DM, hoping they were going
Wow.
to respond, and then of course a lot of meetings online because production, you need to be, can be present physically, but that didn't really stop me from creating. I think that as long as it's going to take longer because production usually takes 9 months. And you also need to be planning ahead, but at the same time is the lesson behind it. You can't just give up because one little hiccup was present. No,
Right.
keep going and be creative about things if you really want it that bad. um so that's how I started working with them, and
Wow.
that's
So did you
everything.
so how did you so you pitched an idea to them and then everything else you've had meetings to make this to
Hmm.
your idea come to life?
Yeah, I told
Wow.
what, and
That's
I told them.
beautiful.
Thank you. I was really clear to them. I was like, listen, it's not physical yet because I still need to register, but I'm planning on registering the business at this month. Once I have the registration, I can start actually, being official because, of course, to create the contracts with them and making sure that they are
Mm,
safe and I'm safe and the payments and everything is, good. I needed to register the business, creating an LLC. And I told them, I was being honest, just give me 2 more months and I'll give you the registration so you can be good. But
wow.
please don't leave me, please. Like I literally, there's a lot of faith too. I think that you need to trust, they need to trust you. And in business, that can be really interesting because, people think that you can trust anybody in business, but that's the thing. When you do business different with intention and about the
Right.
people, it's different. It's not just I'm taking from you.
So since you mentioned it, like how was your experience as building the registering your business with, a lot of I think it's a lot of pressure on, I feel like, and especially like, if you're undocumented and starting your own business, and how do you even go about that? Like how did you go about it?
Yeah. Um, I don't know if you follow Liga Amiga in Instagram.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, but Liga Amiga is a lawyer for businesses. Um, and I came across her because when I was in college, after I couldn't really find out that I could work, I started being a consultant. And that's how I made income during college, being a consultant in marketing
Mhm.
for different businesses. And one of my clients was Vive Cosmetics. Um,
Right.
and
Yeah, yeah, I remember
yeah,
that. Yeah.
one of the, yeah, Vive Cosmetics is a Latina owned brand. And they're cruelty free and vegan. They're based in California, but they ship around the US. So just shout out to them because through them I found out about Liga Amiga because she's the one who helped them with their business stuff. And
Gotcha.
yeah, and I asked her how to register an LLC and all of this. Of course, it's expensive, and of course, she gave me different prices, but the information I got it. But luckily, one of my best friends, she opened her business during COVID, and it's Uvida shop. It's the first Boston zero waste store, and through her, I was able to find out that I could actually do it for free through my university, which is I didn't know that. What
Wow,
is it?
no way.
That's very,
What? No, that's so
yes,
funny.
yes.
That
I'm telling you, you need to talk to people. You really have to be out there and talk to people.
we just went full circle. Like
Yes, because and that I think that's just a lesson about things that sometimes your answer is right in front of you, but you're not looking. Whew.
but that's the other thing too. Like you didn't know that, and like I
Yeah,
guess that's just another thing at universities, like that you're saying too. Is like you gotta ask. You gotta go look around.
yeah,
You gotta look around for the resources and ask
yeah.
because that's how you find an answer.
Yes, yes. And whoever is from California listening to this episode and you're thinking of opening up your business and registering, please contact Liga Amiga Taylor. That's her name. Of course, when you're a lawyer, you can only do business or lawyer stuff in California.
Yeah.
That my reason why she couldn't help me. But I really trust and support and follow her content, and I always keep learning from her because it's a really trustworthy lawyer. So shout out to her. And whoever's in California, yeah, just look her up. But I was able to live here in Boston through Northeastern because they have a little free clinic for small businesses in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, and my friend, the founder of Vivida Shop, she did it through there. And since I was an undergrad and I'm from Boston, they were able to help me. And the thing is two parts. When you're trying to file for registration for NLLC, you it's like a two fee. The labor that the lawyers do, that's one fee that you have to pay, and that was the most expensive one. And then because the registration itself, it was only 550. But then the labor, the paperwork, the filing that the lawyer does, that's the most expensive thing.
Right.
um of course I had to pay the 550 because that's you just have to pay it, but I didn't pay that labor from the lawyers, which it sounds bad saying it, but well, they're supporting, so I'm going to feel
Well, it
it.
doesn't sound bad at all because you use the resources around
Yeah,
you. They got paid anyways. They
you're
just didn't
right.
get
You're
paid
right.
by you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're
Like
right.
they get paid either way. Like,
You're right. You're right.
believe you shouldn't feel bad about that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. I use my resources.
That's right. The
That's the
important
thing.
part too. You're smart for that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how I did it, and usually that's the way to go. Whether whatever you're filing, whether it's an LLC, an E corp, or any other type of business or an entity, you have to pay the lawyer and then the registration from your state because every state has different prices,
Hmm.
and also the different type of business. So that's how I went about it, and it took some time. Because I was filing with my ITIN number. And for
Right.
those of you who don't know what an ITIN is, everybody has an 19, even US citizens. And that's just a number that you use to pay your taxes. And luckily, those of us who don't have a social, we can use that to, be consultant and create your businesses. Of course, once you have your business gets an EIN, and that's like the social for your business. Technically, that's the easiest way to explain it. But
Hmm.
through that EIN, you can get your bank account for your business and file the taxes for your business. But using an individual, you get your IT. And that's how it happened. And yeah, it was through my university.
Oh,
And I was talking so bad about them
I
earlier.
know you're talking all this crap about your university, and you're like, yeah, they
I'm
pay for
real.
my
Hold
building
them
my own
accountable,
business.
okay? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. So I mean, talk to us about like the what's your everyday look like handling your business. Are you doing everything? Has your family stepped in to help you? Tell us all about that. Like, how do you
Yeah.
deal with the everyday tasks?
Yes. Of course, pre-launching, it was all me, because I didn't want to bring anybody in until I knew what I was doing. And I still don't know what I'm doing, so don't get me wrong. But
Don't say that. Don't say that.
no, I mean, I still don't know, but I know. Like, I'm like, okay,
You
okay,
know a
now
lot. You know a lot. I think you're
flow.
just
It's
not
like,
giving yourself enough credit that you think.
yeah. But you will learn as we go. But yes, my family has been so crucial to me since the beginning because when I first told my parents that I wanted to launch it, they just didn't know how real I was about it because I think that a lot of people nowadays say, "Oh yeah, I wanted to open up my business about this or open up this," and they don't follow through. But my parents, they were just like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And I didn't know what it's going to turn out, but um at least exporting things my parents have helped me with, making sure
Hmm.
that if I'm working, because I'm also a full-time worker, and I have my business, and if I'm not home, they get the packages, and whatnot. My brother is super creative as me, so sometimes it's really nice to talk to him about my creative ideas with the next campaign, next launch, or photo shoot things. Yeah, my friends too. They have helped me so much with being the models for for my lunches. I have when I think that because I can do it on my own. Of
Yeah.
course, I don't have official employees, but my friends, my family have helped me doing little things. But yeah, in terms of employees, I don't have any yet. But that's one thing that hopefully next year, this year comes because we need it, and I'm manifesting that and putting that
There you
work
go.
to for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's cool too. You did these, like the launches that you do, they're very like professional.
Oh,
And in my, yeah, no, in my eyes, like they're very professional, and in
beautiful.
many's too. Like it just looks like what you would see as a commercial, which obviously what you're going for, and that's what you got. Like, and then just doing that with only your friends and everything.
Yeah.
It looks like that's amazing. Like you guys, it shows how passionate you are about that, and how much they believe in you as well, right?
Thank you. No, no, yes, and I'm super grateful for them because um one thing that I learned from my past clients whenever they will do their campaigns and the people they will look for to be part of campaigns, I want to go back to my community. I don't want to just hire anybody to, like model for me or be photographing for me because I think that why would I hire just a stranger when I have my friends and I'm
Right.
also supporting them in their skills and their craft and also supporting me. So it's just a beautiful thing to do. Going
Hmm.
back playing a lot of people that I work with, they're also, immigrants themselves. So it's just going back like that whole circular economy and I just love it. It's so beautiful to be able to do it. But day to day, it's a lot because I'm the one behind designing everything, marketing, then
Right.
inventory stuff, financials, what's next type of thing, production, um, cleaning. Like I can, and that's the thing. Sometimes when I talk about entrepreneurship, they just show the glamorous side, but no, it's not glamorous at all the time. Sometimes you gotta roll up your
Yeah.
sleeve, cleaning, staying up, especially for different pop-ups events when you go to different places to sell physically. Those are my favorites because you can connect with others. I think that
Right.
you just meet new people, meet other entrepreneurs, and you build more community. And it's just, I love those. And I really hope this year brings more of those because of COVID. We haven't been able to do many, but that's one of my favorite things. I love connecting like this, but I
Yeah.
think that there's just something different about see you in person.
No, yeah, no, I'm with you on that. No, absolutely.
But
Um,
every day looks different too. Because I know you ask what my day looks like, but every day looks different. There's no, I do the same
mm,
thing. I'm trying to create a routine, but it's just so different because things change so quickly, and that's the whole thing about being adaptable to things. Um, let's say a production team went wrong, so I have to spend more time on that. Then I can't do my marketing anymore. I have to wait until tomorrow to do my marketing. But usually, to keep very short, since I work from 9 to 5, after my five, from 7 to 9, 7 to 10 p.m., I just focus on Luna, whether it
wow.
is yeah,
So yes,
and
your days are long, huh?
yeah, and that's why I don't recommend it too because you also need to take care of your mental health, and rest, and making sure that you're nourishing yourself. I think that at the beginning I was just go go go, but now I'm
Right.
trying with this also trying to slow down. At least have one day where I don't work at all. But we're getting better. We're getting better. But yeah, especially lunch days, lunch weeks, they're longer. But I also think that and tell me what you think, but I don't know. When you're doing what you love, it doesn't matter what time it is. It's just you're
Yeah.
not working, you're just creating and
Yeah, it's
money comes out of it somehow, but you're just creating.
that's just the fruits of your work.
Yeah,
But I no, that's so true. A lot of people like quit their 9 to 5 and say they're working like, instead of 9 to 5, like 8 hours now, they're working like 17 hours or something. But it's like you said, it's your own work, and like it's something that you're passionate about as well.
yeah,
Um, how is
yeah.
balancing? I know you mentioned a little bit, but balancing like your other job with your business, like have there been challenges where you've had to like sacrifice something for one or the other?
Yeah. Um, it's not perfect. I'm not going to say that it is because it's not. Um, it's hard when you have so many things in your mind sometimes. I think that being focused has been a little big thing to learn about because, you know, especially with production, when I'm producing a new product and I get a call from, work or because I don't work out from home, I work physically where I work. So I had to be really attentive at work. I can be multitasking. If I was working from home, I think that it would be easier to, okay,
Yeah.
I'm working from home. You can check my email from the Luna, but when I'm
Mm-hmm.
really physically there, it's really not that easy. So that has been taking the time, commitment. And also weekends. Weekends is when a lot of pop-ups happen. I want to do more of those, but sometimes I work weekends. So that's like,
Oh, wow.
you know.
Right, right.
But just planning ahead. If I know that I want to do this pop up, let me ask the day off or the week off, the weekend off,
Yeah.
so I can do my Luna stuff, the business. But I'm still working, so if you have any tips, let me know because I'm still learning how to balance it. I think that learning how to say no too. You need to learn how to say no. Um, as I said, I'm so used to handling things on my own that I'm like, I got it. But then I'm like, no, girl, you don't. You need to say no or ask for help or delegate. But I'm still
Yeah.
learning and it's not perfect though.
Well, that's the important part. You're always learning, and I think you'll get to that point where you're like, I'm gonna go full in on your business,
Yes.
and you'll know when that time is. I feel like that's just part of how the universe works, in my opinion.
Yeah.
um that's the way I am too with like the podcasting. It's just like I never thought I'd be here, and then here I am, and I
I
love it. Like,
know.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, what are the biggest challenges that you faced, like, as an entrepreneur? Or would you say like the 9 to 5, or you're working like your day job and managing your business being like the biggest challenge?
One of the main things has been I think financial stability because as I said, since I don't really have a work permit, it's really interesting to make sure that I cover my bills and things that I have to pay, and also make sure my business is growing and then the money is
Right.
being allocated where it has to be. So that has been one, and also just doing everything on your own. Wearing so
Yeah.
many hats. It takes a toll on your body and on your how tired you feel. Um, and I think producing abroad too, because since I said I can leave to see the production and how fast it's going. I think that I need to be extra intentional with every meeting that I am and seeing how things are produced and making sure they're doing what I'm telling them to do.
Right.
Because it's not like I can just drive to to that city where they are located and just go on a weekend and see the production.
Yeah, I feel like
However,
that's a tough part too. Yeah.
a tough part, but at the same time, it's not impossible to make it, And I think that has taught
Yeah.
me that if you really want it, you're gonna go get it. It doesn't matter what things are in the way. But I think those three, and yeah, just taking care of yourself, resting.
Awesome. Yeah, no,
Um,
absolutely. And
I think yeah, good guy.
no, say another thing I wanted to touch on, because I just think it's awesome before we run out of time here. It's just like that you said you have with a mission, and you do everything with intention. And I saw, looking through your website, like some of the proceeds go towards turtles, or to saving the turtles, right? And
Yes.
that's I think that's awesome. That's amazing. How did this like come about?
Yeah, so it's actually Kala, the foundation and co-op that I work with. Since they have different side hustles too. The people that I work with, they're artisans, but they also see
Okay.
fisher women.
Hmm.
So a portion of the profits that we make from what we make from the product, it goes to their total liberation program. So they actually raise and produce the eggs, keep them so they can grow into being a full total and liberated to the ocean.
Wow.
And since they're in the coast located as well, and also that the sea turtles that we work with, they're in extinction as well. So it's like, wow, so beautiful that we're creating these new products, but at the same time we're also creating new turtles to go into the sea. And also, of course, it's not like the turtle is going to grow next month, but at the same time, it's long-term effect of, creating new life.
Yeah.
And I can't lose my voice, you're right. But yeah, it's 25% of what we make goes into the liberation seed total program. And every season of liberation, we have been liberating 100 to 100 total. So it's just so beautiful to see, just making new life, entrepreneurship.
Yeah, no, everything you do, I love it. It's all amazing work, and I'm so happy to have you on here. So, before I let you go, is there anything that you want to tell the audience that we maybe haven't covered and that you'd like to right now?
I just tell them to, pursue whatever they want to pursue, to not be stopped because of little no's or doors closing, because those doors that close are the ones that are going to open up the one that is for you. And just to not care what other people are going to say. I think that a lot of things, a lot of people that I know, they don't do their passion, their thing, because they're afraid of the what if. But I think that the one thing that is going to eat them alive is thinking about the what if they didn't do it, So just shoot your shot with anything that you want. You'll have one life. So if it doesn't work out, all right then. It didn't work out, but you tried. So being unapologetic about your dreams, your passions. It doesn't matter whether you're undocumented, non-documented. If you live in another country, because I know that your podcast can be worldwide. So whoever is listening in other countries of the US, just shoot your shot. You never know what's at the other side. And as I said, whatever is yours is going to be waiting for you. And just the alignment of things is just so beautiful. And that's how you know you're walking on your path too, because everything aligns seamlessly. And it's just so beautiful. So
that's deep. That's deep. I was not ready for all that. You got me like navigating in this like spiritual plane now. Like that's great. Okay. And where can people follow your work, support you? Where can people find all your beautiful products that you're, and just one more time too, before telling us where people can find you and get in contact with you, just tell us your catalog again. Like what do you currently offer and what you're going to be selling? And I'll try also to just when I do like the pictures on Instagram and stuff, I want to showcase some of your products because I love them.
Thank you. Yes, you can find the business in Instagram as Lunartesanal _ and also the website Lunartesanal with double A. And can you link it also on?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have your I'm gonna have your Instagram, your website. Yeah. I'll have it all in the show notes as well.
Thank you. And also on TikTok, Lunartesanal _ my personal is Mujer de Luna. And what else? That should be it. Yeah, those two. Yeah.
And then what do you guys have? I gotta say though, before you list everything, when I saw you release the was it the backpack? I think that's awesome. Like it was just beautiful. Like so it's not like the handbag, but like the I don't even know how to call it. Like the one, I think you're sold out of them. I think you're sold out of them already, but like they're so cool. Like
no, I'm glad. Yes. Lunartesanal sells handmade and artisan made products from El Salvador. And we work mainly with coconut. We go from earrings to bags, and now working on our home decor line, which is coconut candles. But everything is sustainable. And of course, the main prime material that we use is coconut, but earrings, beauty products, and bags and coconut candles.
Awesome. Thank you so much, May. Thank you again for being on here and learning about you and your business and everything that comes with it.
No, thank you so much, Kevin. And thank you for taking the time and being patient too, because I know it was long overdue since November. So.
Oh yeah, of course. No, believe me, I get it. You know what I mean? Like if anyone can get it. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please share it with a family or a friend and rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It helps tremendously in order to bring more awareness and educational resources to our community. For more information and to stay up to date with what I'm doing, you can follow me on Instagram at latinamericaneo. And if you need more information and resources, you can visit my website, latinamericaneo.org. I'm Kevin Munoz. This has been the Leo Podcast, and I'll see you next time. This podcast is not investment advice. I am not a qualified licensed investment advisor. All information on here, including any ideas, opinions, views, predictions, forecasts, commentaries, suggestions, or stock picks expressed or implied, are for informational, entertainment, or educational purposes only and should not be construed as personal investment advice. Conduct your own due diligence or consult a licensed financial advisor or broker before making any and all investment decisions. Any investments, trades, speculations, or decisions made on the basis of any information found on this podcast, expressed or implied, are committed at your own risk, financial or otherwise.